Namaskaram. Welcome to day 3 of Nritya Alap. We are excited today to bring you yet another stalwart to discuss some insightful topics. Our discussion today will be something that is sure to provide some food for thought and challenge our common understanding of the subjectivity of being a dancer. And who better to discuss this with than someone whose approach to Natyam has been not only inclusive but also expansive. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Shri Bijoy Anand Shivram. Shri Bijoy Anand Shivram has trained in classical dance at a very young age in Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi. He has trained under Guru Srimati Kalamandalam Maithili in Chennai, Guru Sri Bhaskar Menon and Srimati Radha Bhaskar at the Mudra School of Classical Dances, Ahmedabad, Guru Srimati Mallika and Srimati Mrinalini Sarabhai at the Darpana Academy, where he trained under Guru Sri Patagudi S. Ramaswamy and Srimati Maheshwari Nagarajan and Srimati Radha Ramachandran in the Guru Sishya Parampara. Born in 1961, he has, since 1980, been giving performances all over the world as an accomplished classical and folk dancer. In 1993, he created a record by giving 144 performances in 120 days, in which he toured Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Finland. Shri Bijoy, in 1991, started Preksha for the promotion of art and culture to create a platform for upcoming artists and invite renowned artists to Ahmedabad for workshops and performances. As a choreographer, his productions have covered diverse themes ranging from the traditional to those that are relevant to society today. These include productions on the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Sai Baba, Navadurga, and also about drug abuse, the environment, and women empowerment. In the past 50 years, he has performed and given many solo and group performances at many festivals such as the Tagore Festival in Japan, Festival of India in USSR, Meera Festival in Udaipur and Chittorgarh, the Mithilalaya Festival in Trivandrum, Brahmotsavam at Hyderabad, Kalidas Sammelan in Ujjain, and also at the prestigious Tata Theatre NCPA. He has given performances for leprosy patients, dialysis patients, and spastic children. His latest production, Adi Shankaracharya, received rave reviews at London and Ohio, USA, and even in India when performed at Natarani, Ahmedabad. Shri Bijoy at present is working as the Vice Principal at the JG College of Performing Arts in Ahmedabad and as the Assistant Director of Operations. And through him, the college has performed in Spain, UK, and the US at prestigious venues, and the college has received rave reviews for all these performances. Through his organization Preksha, Shri Bijoy has been giving many charity performances for his first student, Nikita Ghaya, a dialysis patient. For her dream project, Shri Bijoy has toured all over the country to collect funds for other dialysis patients. Shri Bijoy also organizes a lot of charity shows for the underprivileged and for leprosy patients. The media has given him a lot of coverage and has been all praise for the work that he has done through Preksha and otherwise. It is an honor for us to welcome Shri Bijoy Shivram. Namaskaram,
Thank you
sir.
very much. Namaskaram. Thank you very much for this introduction.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Nritya Alap. We are looking forward to listening to you. So I really want to start off by going back to your learning days where it all began. So could you tell us a little bit about how your journey into Natyam began?
You see, it is always lucky to have wonderful parents. I would definitely not be in this field if it was not for them. My father was a journalist and he was also a Gandhian, and he's somebody who's met Gandhi and he was part of the Satyagraha movement. My mother was the first Malayali journalist from Kerala, and who then, both of them, in fact, in pursuit of a work, they came to Bombay and they were working with Free Press Journal, And Bal Thackeray at that time was the cartoonist there, and there were many other renowned journalists like P.K. Ravindranath and M.K.B. Menon and many others. And so they have themselves moved forward without any kind of pressure, gone. And my mother being a Christian, my father being a Hindu, that itself at that time was revolutionary. And they have done what they felt true and what they felt in their heart. So when we grew up as children, I had an elder brother. Unfortunately, I lost him in '95. I have a sister, and then me. So all the three of us, we were given complete freedom to do what we want. So when I was very small and I couldn't be left alone at home, so my mother used to tag me along when my sister joined dance classes. And we used to sit outside the classroom and watch. And one year I waited and I saw all this. And then one day I told my mother, I would like to dance. So normally, I guess if it was some other parent, they would have thought there was something really wrong with me and I shouldn't be going into this field. So she said, you want to dance? What? So I said, I want to join my sister. Can I do that? So she said, fine, but I'm not the one to decide that. You should ask her teachers whether they're ready to take you. And I guess at that time, I must have been one of the first male dancers to join a classical dance class in Ahmedabad. Because otherwise, they were male dancers in Ahmedabad, but they had come to Ahmedabad to teach dance and all that. Yeah. So the next time we went to class, my mother told the teachers, and they were very happy because both Bhaskar Menon and Radha Bhaskar, my gurus, both of them were so thrilled. They said, oh, wow, chalo, we're getting because Bhaskar Menon himself, being a male dancer who had come from Kalamandalam and all that, he was very happy. And he said, okay, you can join the first year. But I said, no, I think I can do everything that my sister's doing because I was watching her and I was also practicing at home. So they said, all right, why don't you demonstrate? And when I did that, they said, sure enough, you join her. And that's how our journey began. And both of them, both Bhaskar Menon and Radha Bhaskar, both of them were they're such wonderful human beings that, there was, and at that time, there was so much of attachment. We were like a family. So we would be spending a lot of time at their houses also and in the class. And so whenever possible, they used to teach us. And slowly I started understanding Bharatanatyam. And then it was later that because they used to do, Bhaskar Bhai is also trained in Kathakali. And Radhaben comes from a family who all of them are part of the dance field. Her father used to play the chenda wonderfully. Her mother used to dance. All her sisters, the elder sister does Kathakali and the others do Mohiniyattam and Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi and all that. So, and they used to teach Kuchipudi also in the class. And that's when I thought both of us, my sister and I, we got interested in Kuchipudi also. And we used to spend time learning Bharatanatyam and we used to spend time learning Kuchipudi. And of course, initially, my relatives may have wondered what my parents were doing. But in time, they really felt that what my parents decided was definitely right for me. And they felt that I was in the right place. And they were very happy and they wanted to know when I would have performances so that they could come and see it.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, that's how it all began. Yeah.
So like you said, I think it's a great blessing that you've had extremely supportive parents. But I want to draw your attention to something that you had mentioned earlier in your answer when you said that, you're one of the first male dancers to be learning in Ahmedabad, to start out as a learner. So generally the perception of a dancer in common understanding, the image that it invokes is always that of a woman. So, I mean, your family has been extremely supportive, but was it a challenge to be a male dancer and learning and growing up?
It was never a challenge for me because there was no objection from my family side, So because when is it a challenge? When, like today, for example, when I'm working in this college, I find a lot of students who, yearn to be in this field, whose passion is music or dance or drama and all that. But their problem is the parents don't want them to go and do a serious degree in this, because they feel that, oh, this should be a hobby, don't really spend so much of time in this. So my most of the time what I'm doing is counseling the parents. So for me, I was lucky that I had parents who let me do this. So it was never a challenge, but yes, it was a challenge to prove after that that, okay, now I've got into a field which is totally a feminine dominion kind of thing. But I remember when I was studying in Baroda, and I was in the MS University, and I took part in the youth festival. And I guess that was also something for the first time that happened there, because the MS University had its own newsletter. And one of the heading of that was that Bijoy Shivram uh, breaks the barrier of something that has remained a feminine dominion for so many years with his outstanding performance, and gets away by winning the first prize at the MS University. And the other thing was, I always felt that when I get into dance, and being a male dancer, see, sometimes when you watch male dancers, you find that they're trying to be more feminine than what male dancers should be. And there is no reason for that. Of course, it is. This is my perception. They may be looking at it in a different way. But as a dancer, it is, you have to take both the sides of Lasya and Raudra, or the male and the feminine way, when you actually become that character. Till then, you are you as a dancer, as a male dancer. Of course, once you transcend the stage, you are giving in to the stage, and then you're immersing yourself with the dance on stage. But that doesn't mean that you cannot hold that, the masculine part of you in that. So I have tried to retain that, and that also has been many a times the remark that a critic has given in a review, saying that a male dancer who dances like a male. So those are compliments. But of course, I don't say, because I have some wonderful friends who, as male dancers, do Stree Vesham. And it's amazing, because see, even to carry that on forward is very difficult. Not everybody can do a Stree Vesham dress up. Like if I dress up in a Stree Vesham, I'm sure I'll look horrible in that. And the other thing was also, that as a male dancer, there was a time when, while I was learning dance and also performing and all that, my mustache always came in the way, because there were people who would tell me, oh, you won't get a part if you're going to leave your mustache on. So I said, well, you try what you want, but that's one thing that's not going to go off. And so I retained that. And it's not anything else. It's not that just because I have a mustache, I feel masculine. It's just that I felt I look much better that way. Because when my sister and I look at our Arangetram photographs, I think they're horrible. We look like Neelakant or something, because neck above, we whitewashed with all the makeup, and I didn't have a mustache at that time. And so I'm so happy that we didn't have videos at that time to keep these things as a record. We only have photographs. But it has been a challenge in the way that, only to see that now that I've got into this, I should try and do justice to that. And the day somebody tells me, Bijoy, please stop this, don't dance, no, you're not good on stage, I think that'll be the day I'll stop doing that also. But otherwise, I still do. And of course, my son and my wife, Anirudh, my son, and my wife, Anita, they're one of my best critics. Because see, till there was a time when I used to be, when I was learning, when I had all these wonderful gurus who were teaching me, we had a very strong and strict regime of 6 to 7 hours of dancing. But the moment I got into the college, and in 2004, when I took up the chair and I was sitting on the chair, automatically I started putting weight, because I don't get the time to practice. There's very little riyaz that's happening. So, and I'm susceptible to put on weight and lose weight. So when I go abroad and I'm there every day dancing for 1.5 to 2 months, I lose weight and come back. But the moment I come back to college, I start gaining weight. So there have been times when my son has said, "You're looking too fat on stage. Please stop dancing." So these are things that keep me. I mean, I should be aware of, and I feel that any artist, it is nice if they gracefully retire when it comes to that point where you feel that, okay, I think now let our students go forward and do the work. So being a male dancer is absolutely not challenging. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's good to be a male dancer.